Hello everybody, good morning. This is Fanny. I hope you're having a good day, that you are doing well. I'm popping up on live just for a few minutes regarding the events in Iran that I learned about this morning. And while it's fresh, I wanted to just to post about it, right? Because it's so important, and I recording a message on my private Facebook in French for my friend to tell them that you please share my classes and my post online, because it's not just about art, it's to learn the symbols, to learn the codes that you see everywhere in the media, in the news, in the advertisement, the marketing, everywhere, or even just the signs of nature, the guidance, your spiritual guidance, anything really. The very same way you learn, a language, or you learn mathematics when you go in school, and you're like, why in the world am I going to learn mathematics? Like, how many have you said that? Or history? I remember how many times I said this in school. When in the world am I ever going to use this in my life? Like, why am I not learning something that I'm going to reuse every day or whatever? So when you see about the mandalas, you're probably thinking, I don't care about mandalas. Like, personally, I don't care about mandalas. Like, but yes, it's not just doing a painting that you're going to have in your living room. It's actually... Did my cat just jump from that? Bibi? It's actually learning to decode and see, and the double vision, and it's crazy, because when I started, I never wanted to be a painter. I don't even think my mandalas are that beautiful, to be honest with you. I probably wouldn't even buy one of them if I would see them. They're very simple. There's artists that are a lot better than I am. But the thing is, when I started painting, I didn't realize that it was going to be completely magical, and that I was going to start seeing the paintings activated like portals, and that I was going to start developing my telepathic abilities and my connection to the Akashic records, the Akashic library, and stuff like that. And now I realize that all these paintings, they're portals. Literally, when I have people come to my house, I show them around, and we stop in front of a painting, and it's like we're in front of a window. It's like we're in front of a window of a gate, and each painting we're in front of it, and we're starting a conversation, and it's like we have it's like a channel, and we're discussing this thing. I don't know, that was so crazy last time. And it was for New Year's 2 years ago, I think, that everybody came here, and I was showing them, and each painting we would stop, and there would be a different conversation coming with information and everything. And I realized that it was really shamanic art, and even if you don't think you're really good at painting, it doesn't matter, because this time that you're meditating, and that you're doing those dots, and that it's super slow, and you have to be super focused, essentially you don't really have to think. You're thinking, you're creating a diversion to your mind, right? A diversion, like you're focused, all you're focused in these little drops of painting, but without noticing it, you're emptying your mind, and you have light codes and information, and you're connected to actually the message, the intention you're putting in the painting, or the message that the universe is trying to send you at that moment, and that you need to manifest through the art. So it's so much more than just a little mandala, and you're probably thinking, oh my God, I'm going to need like so many hours. Yeah, it took me 5 years to get to that level of precision and stuff like that. But it's also like a habit, like you go running or you go meditating, and sometimes for a month I don't paint anything, and all of a sudden I paint 3-4 paintings, and like it had just happened. And it is crazy, because every single time I think, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna paint this, that's cool, and a week later I realize, no, this was an order from the universe. It's not even like I decided. It's like I'm the instrument, and I look at the paintings after, and then a news comes up, or I learn something, and I'm like, wow, crazy. It's like the paintbrush was trying to tell me something, And so last night I was writing about the hijab And so yeah, back to that, right? How some women, they said they were insulted walking in the street because they were wearing the hijab. And even in France, you know, since I was a child, in the news they always show women being mistreated, you know, by men for not wearing, you know, or for going out in public. Or you know how the Muslims since 9/11, they're always seen like terrorists. Or even if you're not racist, even if you're not scared, a little bit educated, maybe you always have this little idea. I know even when I was in my master's degree, so I was already kind of educated, and it was international communication and cultural communication. So I was really into this culture and difference of culture. Even at that level of education, I would see a girl in my class with, you know, covered with the hijab, and my first thought is like, oh, she's probably very shy. You know, not a judgment, but it's like, I didn't even tell myself that, but I remember I was like, hey, I'm gonna partner with that girl. So I go talk to her because I don't know her. I go talk to her. I'm like, hey, should we partner together and stuff? And she starts talking, and she's like super outgoing and super smart and friendly. And I tell myself, and I'm like, oh, crazy, I didn't imagine her like that. And this is that moment when I was like, see, it's not that I was racist or everything. And I was like, crazy, what would I don't know, why is that surprising me? Why would I think that she's maybe submissive, or just because she's covered? Because we have that idea that they're forced to wear that, you know, so therefore they let men or family control their life, to even to the point of what they are wearing. So this is in the collective mind, even to the most open of us, right? So I was writing a post about that most of the men, when I was in Bahrain, they were so respectful of women and so nice, and the women super smart. Some of the smartest ladies that I was working with, Sarah, she was covered as well, or Wafa, my coworker, she was all so funny, oh my god. But for example, she was wearing the hijab when she would come to work, and she would take off for work, and she would tell me, oh, if my husband sees it, you know, he's gonna kill me. And so there were both, you know, there were the people who do it because they wanted to. And so I was writing about that. And this morning I see the news, and I see a woman, you know, killed by police because she was not wearing the hijab. And I was like, yeah, there is also when we would go out with a group of friends, and one of the lady in the group, who is from Bahrain, and she's covered, and she'd be like, we're going back home, right? And we have to cross a few villages. And she's like, oh no, I'm not going to take that road. I'm going to take a different road, because if I cross that village and I'm by myself without my dad or my parents, they're going to bully my family. And I was like, what? You can't even drive wherever you want? She's like, no, it's like, it's not that I can't, but I prefer to take another road. So I was like, wow. So it's still controversial, you know? So if they wear it when they're not there, when they're overseas, you know, in the United States or in Europe, they're being bullied for what they're wearing. And when they're there, they're being bullied for what they're not wearing. So we have to give them some peace, you know? And it's not just that. It's not just that I wanted to talk about. It's also about, yeah, the art. Why do I teach this symbolism and this decrypting, right? The codes, and because you see that everywhere in the media. And if you think that you're only seeing the truth in the media, it's like, yes, of course you have information, but it's always a double meaning. It's always a double information, you know? Learn to decode, and you will see that all the truth is in front of you. They don't hide the truth because they need to communicate, everybody. And there is this giant network from that United Nations, even the Navy, or authors and writers, artists, everywhere, right? This giant network that's been, organization that's been created, and learn to communicate like that, so you can openly talk about strategies and not scare the people off. It's not so much that it's a lie. And why are people angry? It's so important what I'm saying right now. I hope you're paying attention. People are angry because they feel like they see the news, and they feel like some stuff don't make sense. Like, have you ever watched the news and they're saying stuff and you're like, that doesn't make sense. What the hell are they talking about? or why they formulate stuff in a certain way or whatever, and you're like, they feel that they're making fun of us right now. Why? They're hiding something, but they can't see. But it's right in front of you. Just learn to read and to connect also. Who are they talking to? Who, okay? So follow the network, follow, because the truth is there in front of us. And of course, I don't know all the truth. You don't know what you don't know. There's, you know, I have my own pages that I follow and network and stuff, and my own reality, and I'm pretty sure there is another complete reality somewhere else, right? But you can be everywhere either, but by sharing the information you can expand the truth. So once you're connected to most, all the truths connect together, then this is when the minds open, because you become more open-minded, even if you don't agree with the method or you don't agree with an opinion. But by coming together, talking about it, finding strategies, finding solutions, and like Tony Robbins was saying, or what was this book again? The fourth kind? No, this is a movie. The people don't act when everything goes well. It has to be a catastrophe for people to start reacting, you know. And so, is this event really a punctual event? A single event like that? Was it really a policeman that was angry and killed that woman? Or do you think it was something that was actually a wave from the media to spread worldwide and say, okay, now we're tired, we need the world to change, we need those customs, those traditions to change? You know, sometimes government, so you don't know if the government is a terrorist or if the government is the trigger that's trying to have the people just tell their own people, their own women, hey, now it's time for you to stop listening to your husband. It's time for you to, you know, take a step and wear whatever you want. So you don't know who plans it. Sometimes it's not just one guy. Sometimes it's commented. It's a worldwide wave, right? That is meant to make things evolve. So is there really a murder? Is there not? This has happened before. You know, I haven't seen the body. I can't tell you if it's real or not. If it is, let's not this body be, this life, okay, be gone in vain. Let it be a message that will actually change the world, not just something that's going to be in the media like the Black Lives Matters, you know, for a few months and then nothing changes. You know, the police, they're here to arrest criminals. The police, they're not, I'm sorry, every day in school, in front of my school, and I appreciate that people need to respect the speed limit, right? Yes, there's people that they cut off the right of way, you know, crossing the street and stuff like that. So yeah, having the police, it dissuades people to start again. Next time that you will pass by the school, you will be more careful. They arrested me last time because I was 5 miles above the speed limit, you know, and they're like, oh, you're in a rush, blah blah blah, you know, smart guy, like, you know. I'm like, look, my son is in that school, you know, and I know how I'm driving. I'm not driving like a crazy person, but you know, sometimes there's some abuse, you know. It's like, come on, police is here to arrest the criminal and not to bully the people just so we can all be like this, you know, like sheep following the same rules for everybody. So something to think about. And I lost track of yeah, it's okay. So it's just a short one today. So I want to read a card from my Isis oracle. Once again, why did I pick Isis? And why am I wearing my beautiful heart earrings from Bahrain and my ankh from Egypt? You know, because we need to be educated about those symbols. It's happened before that, you know, I would wear a symbol or show the wrong thing to the wrong public, and then it generates some drama because people, they're not used to, it's offending to them, you know. And when you see Isis, why? Because Isis is like the goddess of the mothers, right? The feminine energy, the divine feminine. But what did they make of this to scare the people and the women in the Muslim countries from reconnecting with their divinities, outside of apart from covering them up, which by the way I read, so I'm not a historian, but I read that in Afghanistan in the 50s, women were dressed just like I am dressed right now, and there was no problem at all. They were doing just what they want. But when the feminist movement started coming up and the women's rights starting evolving a little bit, the men said, whoa, 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 we're not going to be taken over like that. Let's do something. Let's cover them up. You know, just like they did for the mask with us, with the social media evolving and stuff like that. Now they found a way to shut our mouths and literally put a mask on our face, you know. And now there's so much censorship in Facebook and Instagram, but also maybe it's meant for us to gather, you know, because in time of crisis, this is when the solidarity appears. For me, I'm sorry, but it's unacceptable that there's been war in Ukraine for months and it's still going on. If I'm starting to throw bombs at my neighbors like this, in 15 minutes, the police will be here to arrest me, you know. But because it's international, and once again, we get back to the same core problem: what is the nuclear bomb? Because as long as we still have the nuclear bomb, we have this threat that one cannot just step into a conflict because you have some crazy people. We need to find this has to be the priority and not wait till there is a war. And last time when I wanted to do a conference about exactly that topic, about the what women wear and just stuff, people don't even care. They don't answer. We have to wait till there is a drama so people can react and gather and show solidarity. This is ridiculous, you know. So anyways, ISIS, so then they found a way to call the terrorist group ISIS, okay? Because now when you say ISIS, when I talk about the goddess Isis, and people who don't know about it, right away the first thing they say is like, oh, this is a terrorist organization. It's like, no, this has been created after, just to put a fear upon that name, just like the Nazi cross, right? Which was a Buddhist symbol, a Buddhist cross, the swastika, and symbol of peace. And that Hitler took that, he reversed engineering the symbol. And so now when you see that symbol, which initially was symbol for peace and super powerful, it even looks like a blade, right? A blade of active energy activation. And they ruined the energy of the symbol forever, right? Because of all the drama that have been put to it. So it's the same. The energy of Isis, of the sacred feminine, because there is a terrorist group now called upon that, then they're trying to dirty the name of the goddess, but they cannot. They cannot, because we're bringing it back. Okay? Pillar of light. Okay, let me find a card. So that's why I wanted to pull a card from Isis today. Beautiful gold energy. Scarab. Wow, you know, and wow, and so that's crazy, because I was just writing about this last night. I was just writing about this, and I wake up this morning and I see it, and I'm like, wow. From all of a sudden, I was writing, I had no intention of talking about the hijab. All of a sudden, I'm writing a full paragraph for my book, and this morning I saw it and I was like, wow, because I already knew, because I'm connected to the Akashic record. So every time something happens, I'm already writing about it. I already have the information, and it's not to say, oh, I knew before anybody else. No, it's to prove that we have this connection, that we have this ability to communicate with each other, to have the information. So even if there's no internet, we're still connected to each other. The important is to trust, have confidence in our intuition, in our ability to channel, and then you'll be able to talk to anybody else on earth. Right, babe? Here.
Hi.
What, babe?
I'm gonna show you something upstairs.
Okay. Here, Amazon, pick a card for me, please.
2, okay?
2. Okay. Okay, thank you.
tunnel.
Wow. All right.
But let me show you something from upstairs.
Okay, I'm gonna come in a minute, babe. Truth unveiled. Temple of the Black Obsidian, the dark healing chamber. Okay, so here it's interesting when you're looking. You see every time you do a reading. Wait, where did I see? Oh, the dream. Okay, I have so much stuff going in my mind right now. Okay, I'm gonna talk after about the scarab. Okay. Every time you do a reading, you can interpret the cards differently. You see this one, how she's closing her eyes. She's kind of
having a horse.
Resignated. And there is the man in front of her, right, who's holding the fire. So that could be the power of decision, or the power. The fire is the power. And this card, last time I pulled it, it was not. I didn't interpret it this way at all. But today, this is how I see it. You can interpret the signs the way you want it. The revelation of Isis. And the Temple of the Black Obsidian.
My heart's no longer until you're done. You already did it for 21 minutes.
I know. Almost finished, baby. I'm just going to read these two cards, okay?
Okay.
So the Obsidian. So the Obsidian is a volcanic rock, right? It's the volcanic rock. So what does the volcano do? The volcano expels, right? The volcano expels like the fire from the earth. So when you have something, some truth that you haven't revealed, or some secrets, or some knowledge, things that are within you that you need to let out and you're not sharing, or if you're in a couple, for example, and you need to have that conversation, whatever conversation, topic that you're not talking about, whatever, wearing the black obsidian helps letting out. Or if you, for example, oh, thank you, babe, I needed to do that. If you have, for cleansing, for example, you might wear the obsidian, and all of a sudden you're going to be sick, right? It's because your body is trying to cleanse, okay, the stuff that you have with it. Okay, so we're going to read this, Esteban. Sit down right here, please. Go sit down. Okay. So, Truth Unveiled. I already read this in one of my other videos, so I hope you followed. I'm going to read the other one, the Temple of the Black Obsidian, because this is the first time that it's coming out for me. And Truth Unveiled, I mean, it's pretty transparent name. All right, just listen to what I was saying. And not just me, but the truth that's all around us. Okay. Okay. The dark healing chamber. And yes, sometimes the healing has to go through the dark, you know. Beloved initiate, the most challenging task is not to confront an external enemy, but to take courage in both hands. Wow, look at just the card that came out of the book. Soul retrieval, the hands. The hands, they're here. It's crazy because I have a picture where my hands are cut, and the hands, they're here. Soul retrieval, deep soul healing with the goddess. It's so crazy. Take courage in both hands and journey within to meet our own dark self and begin the healing task of bringing love, acceptance, and light to it. That is the sacred purpose of any enemy, within or without, to bring us more deeply into our own being as we seek to find and heal the darkness within. The Temple of Black Obsidian is a ruthlessly honest place of raw love and healing, truly profound and lasting. Deep relief and transformation can occur here. Black Obsidian is protective and revealing. Interesting, because you know the hijab, the black dress that the ladies they wear, it's also a protection. You know, did you notice how people hide behind their mask? I don't know, when I was wearing the mask, I felt more, I'm not gonna say free, but somehow I felt more, because I was hiding, you're hiding behind a mask, so you really, people comfortable, safe. You know, I remember I'd be at the gallery, and when I would be wearing the mask, I'd be like, I'm not really me, like, it's not me, I don't care what I'm doing. It's like I'm protected, I'm hiding behind the mask, right? And so the hijab is a little bit of the same. It's not that I'm not against it. Like I said, if they want to wear it, I just feel like it's a protection, right? It's covering who they really are under the black veil, right? And they reserve their true self, who they really are, to their family and their loved one, even they're really outgoing and stuff. But in public, they don't show really who they are. So it then in our society, it's the opposite. You know, we want to be more in public than we are with our families. Yes, baby.
Can I call Daddy from the computer?
No, I don't have WhatsApp on the computer.
No, I mean, Daddy did it before. Daddy called me.
No, you need to wait till I'm done with my phone. Esteban, you wait till I'm done with that, and then you can call him. Okay? Plus, it's really early still there to call. Okay, listen to what I'm reading. So black obsidian is protective and revealing. It will prevent harm from external or internal forces, but it will also reveal that which has been lurking in the shadow of the self, trying to avoid being brought out into the open for fear or condemnation. Perfect card, seriously. The biggest challenge we face in entering the temple of black obsidian is our own unwillingness to love and accept all parts of us. The initiate who is invited to enter the temple of black obsidian enters into his or her own shadow, the part of us that is hidden from our own awareness and is usually only experienced in relationship to others, quite often as projection. Lady Isis, as the dark priestess of the temple of black obsidian, invites you now to confront the part of your own ego that you have denied previously. Why? Because in doing so, you will gain more freedom, come to know yourself more wholly, and you will find that life experiences, opportunities, relationship, and breakthrough that you have not been able to reach will suddenly become available to you. The dark chamber always leads to the light chamber. But one cannot avoid the initiation of the temple of black obsidian on the pathway to more light. This is exactly what is happening. I mean, for me, it's crazy that some parts of the world, women are free, they can wear whatever they want, they can say, they can work, and on other parts of the world, they're still like not have internet, you know, because they're outside in the street protesting. It's crazy. Isis will assist you in preparing for this journey by encouraging you to not allow yourself to become your own worst enemy. Most of the fear we have before the dark chamber of healing is the fear of our own self-criticism and rejection. Isis declares that the readiness for the dark chamber requires a willingness to exercise non-judgment, compassion, and a readiness to accept the self in all expression. Yes. Essentially, that was the message, right? We need to accept that women can wear whatever they want, you know? We can't accept, though, that they are forced to wear something or insulted because they are not wearing it, or, you see what I mean? There's the difference. It's accepting. To safely enter the dark chamber and be healed, you must be prepared to give yourself love unconditionally. You must be able to recognize judgments that you hold towards yourself not as truth, but as old patterning. This is why the successful initiation of the dark chamber is a truly advanced stage of soul development. The heart has become willing to love unconditionally, and the initiate may be able to witness feelings that arise with kindness and acceptance. but not fall into them, overwhelmed, crushed, or deflated by any darkness found within. It is worth the challenge because finding peace from pain, self-criticism, self-doubt, fear, and self-judgment through healing in His temple is a gift beyond measure. Alright, let me see if there is a little incantation. Okay, I call upon the temple of Obsidian black. I call on the love of Isis so strong, stronger than any judgment or attack. It heals and makes whole any past wrong. I now choose to see the truth of my being whole. I see how in this pain I played a role. I chose to let pain of judgment be released. I choose to love and accept with deep peace. Transformation and healing now come to me. I love all parts of my being, infinite and free. Yes. And you see right here now, I read it as that person, that girl that was killed because she wasn't wearing what she wanted. She was saying that. She was saying, I choose to see the truth of my being whole. Okay, I see how in this pain I played a role. I chose to let pain of judgment be released. I choose to love and accept with deep peace. Transformation and healing now come to me. I love all parts of my being, infinite and free. Okay, she decided at the consciousness level, she chose to come to send that message, right? At the human level, she was a victim. At the consciousness level, she knew exactly what was going to happen, that she was going to do that because she was the messenger, okay, she's played a role. We come here as a theater of life to play a role. I choose to let pain of judgment be released. The pain, like the passion of the Christ, right? It's the same when you have a public attack or murder, right? It's the Christ energy or the Mother Mary energy that's coming back, okay, to trigger the people. For me, when I see the Christianity and people that go to church and pray in a church, watching pictures of Jesus with blood and being tortured and stuff, it's like you're glorifying a public murder. And why did they write the Bible? To wipe their hands of killing the guy, right? And then they call it passion and worship that. This is freaking unacceptable. Okay, yes, the Christ energy was so powerful that at the time people could not handle it, and that's why I'm writing this book with the 5 stages of acceptation, right? Because at first it's ignored, then angry, then questioned, then accepted, and then promoted. So at the time of Jesus, they just stopped at the stage number 2, the anger, and they killed him. And now, 2,000 years later, we're starting to question it. We're at the third stage of acceptation. We're not there yet, okay? Because maybe some people are going to listen to this and they'll be like, what is she saying? Yes, you can't go in a church. Sorry, if you love Jesus, if you follow the Christ energy, you can't go pray in a church and watch pictures of that murder. I mean, no, you carry the energy of the Christ. You speak the words, but you don't. I mean, I don't know. So this is what I'm reading. It's like the message from her that she came here to spread that message. It doesn't mean that we, as the people who remain here, have to accept it all and not judge anything else. No, we have to speak up. There's time that we have to rise and we have to speak up and to defend so it doesn't happen again. Okay? You know, when I was in Bolivia, I went to the Church of the Virgin of Copacabana and I was with Esteban, and I didn't know there was going to be the how do you call it, service at that time. So we go to see the Virgin, and then it's crazy because I was wearing white, and it was like there was a picture there, and it was just exactly like what we were wearing. And we were in the front row. Literally, we get inside the church, we get by the front, and they close the church, they close the thing, and the priest comes and starts speaking, and I'm like, oh wow, perfect timing. Okay, well let's stay then. And he starts talking, and of course I don't know any of the songs. I've never been to church in my life, so I don't know any of the songs. I don't know anything. And so he starts speaking, and everybody else repeats, all the words and stuff. But I was listening. I wasn't disrespectful or anything. I still respect. But I was just watching him, and I was listening. And Esteban was just falling asleep in my laps. and he kept looking at me because I wasn't speaking. I wasn't saying anything. So and something happened. I don't know. That was this energy, and all of a sudden he stops reading his book, and he starts talking. Like, he's looking at me, and he starts talking exactly about the topic that we were talking about, writing about, the stuff I've been concerned with. We were connected. He was like, and he starts saying, I also want to. What was he saying? I also want to give a word, for the countries that are still not at peace, for the person, the families that are still in conflict, the war in the world. And this is, what faith and religion, essentially gathering as community, is meant for, more than worshiping one person. He didn't say that, but I'm kind of generating the idea that I understood from it. I didn't remember exactly what he said, but he was saying that, right? The conflicts we have between the families and between the countries and stuff, and this is why we gather in faith, And when he said that, I was a lot more connected and resonated a lot more, even I had chills, than when he was just reading the books of the Bibles, because in the books, and mostly, there is history, of course, and there is some of the words of Jesus, but I believe that he lives within each one of us. We are the words of God, essentially, at every minute, the universe experiencing itself. So in the books, it's a book that's been justifying a public murder, okay? It's a book that's been justifying a public murder called passion. So you can believe what's in it. I'm sorry. It's like, you can learn from it, but I don't know. I haven't read the full Bible. I read passages like that, but so I can't judge or criticize. This is my personal opinion, and mostly that I had. So now I'm going to talk to you about some dreams that I had. I dreamt when I was in England a few years ago, 10 years ago, more, 14 years ago. I dreamt of Jesus. He came to talk to me, and it was a very clear dream. And I don't know, I remember I woke up in the morning, and he told me the Christianity is the biggest scam of history. That's exactly what he said. It's like exactly what are the words I woke up with. Christianity is the biggest scam of history. And so I was like, I was never against religion. Like I said, I'm open, right? What I don't like is sometimes the lies and the crimes, and how the manipulation of the people, the mass manipulation to keep people serving in and blind. And let's not, I don't want to re-bring the past of stuff that happened, because we're here to change it. Now the religion, they are starting to work together hand in hand. It's the religion now is not the same that it was 2,000 years ago, or even 1,000 or 200 years ago. Okay, so we can blame religions nowadays from what happened 2,000 years ago. Don't get me wrong, but still, read the information and the history, and then use your own judgment, okay, to see what's real. So another dream that I dreamt that Sobek, the god, the Egyptian god with alligator face, was giving a scarab to Horus, the bird god. I have this very clear dream image of Sobek handing a scarab to Horus. For months and weeks, I was just thinking, I was like, what does it mean? What does it mean? What is the symbolic of the dream? And many situations then in my life of no, wait, no, the opposite. Sorry, Horus, the bird, giving the scarab to Sobek. This is why it mostly caught my attention, because it wasn't like the darkness finally giving the scarab the truth to Horus, right? The light, so the truth, right? So it could be revealed and win. It was the opposite. It was Horus giving the scarab to Sobek, the god with the crocodile. So that caught my attention, because I was like, what kind of pact is that? What kind of contract? What is the scarab? What does it represent? And so at first, I don't know if I want to say that, but at first, this was a little bit before I put my son to school, right? And when I handed my son to the school, his first weeks of school, yes, baby?
I just got the crow's pet battle.
You did?
Crow's pet battle.
What is it?
I needed to get all 60 bananas, and I got them, and then I had to defeat a boss. And it's crow's pet.
Okay, did you get it?
No.
Did you free the crocodile?
No, Crow. The bad guy Crow's.
Yeah.
The alligator.
Yeah.
Is Crow's pet.
Okay. And what was he doing?
He's trying to defeat me with bombs.
All right. Well, get it done.
I can't. I need to wait until Daddy comes back.
No. Okay, baby. I'm gonna help you in a minute. And so when Esteban started school, I was like, maybe that's what it symbolizes. It's me handing my son to the school system, you know, and because I was always, of course, you're worried when you start in school. You're like, you know, is it going to be a good fit for my son? You know, what do they teach? How is the teacher and stuff like that? But of course, the school we are in is amazing. But then I was thinking about it, see, just when I saw the cards like that, I was like, oh, maybe sometimes you have to use dark process. You're handing a mission to a darker strategy, right? So you can actually accomplish brighter result, like the Black Obsidian Temple. So anyways, all this, I mean, for me, it's fun, you know, to read the cards and see how everything connects like that. But it's not that fun, right? When it happens to someone in your family, or when you're involved in it, or when it's your own country. And we're lucky that we don't have to care because it doesn't concern us. But it still does, because we are still censored, because pictures we put on Instagram, or when we talk, or some knowledge we share, or whatever, it doesn't satisfy. Who has the power to decide what we can say or we cannot say? Seriously. And you know, by letting the inaction, wow, okay, yeah, I get it, in certain country reaches to us here, it's a way, you know, so we have to interfere and defend the others, because if this is acceptable for the neighbors, what is it going to be for us next, you know? Anyways, right, I hope you have a great weekend, guys. Take care, and yes, please share the videos, like I was saying. Okay, it's not just videos about painting. Yeah, another thing, it's not just a video about painting, it's also always sending a message. And if you're not into politics and revolution and stuff like that, it's okay. You can just do something fun and joyful. There is always a message to be heard, something that you're going to get from it that a way or another is going to resonate and bring the information needed to its destination. Okay, so please share. If you have gifts to make for Christmas, please think of my art. It might not be the most elaborate, you know, when I see artists like Cobra or what's the other one that I really like? Crystal Eyes. I really like her art, it's beautiful. It's not like that, it's super simple, it's geometry, but I promise you that these are very powerful, super powerful. Sometimes the simpler the better, you know, because you pass in front of it and you're like, oh, this is so simple, and then you can actually spend hours looking at those shapes and be like, oh my god, this dots right here, that means that, and this even. Yeah, for me it's fascinating. But all right, guys, gonna go take care of my baby, and I hope you have a great weekend, and bye bye.